It just blew up.
It just blew up.
Oh my God!
Ladies and gentlemen, it just blew up.
Oh, the humanity.
All right.
All right.
Hey, it worked. It's smooth. It's smooth. We're back.
That's right.
To the smooth thing. Although you're kind of off kilter, man.
Am I?
I'm going to have to fix that. Yeah.
Yeah, this could be like one of those old Batman from the 60s where everything's kind of like off kilter a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, God, I love that.
Right? Dun, 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 dun. Like, okay, we're going to get the heist now. Batman's going down. Of course, that'd be kind of a pretty weird-looking villain. I don't even know what my villain... What would be my villain name?
You know who my favorite villain was? Hang on, I'm coming back to the mic.
Favorite villain.
I'm coming back to the mic. See, look,
I don't know. I want to go
I'm like all like declaring success. And it's like
I want to go classic. I want to go Joker.
You know,
no,
from the TV series.
Well, Cesar Romero. I mean,
no. But
if we're talking just Joker, then I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. My favorite villain from Batman. Okay.
That's not like Joker or Riddler.
Okay.
King Tut.
Oh,
I love that guy.
I'm
fixing my ear things.
I
can take this off for now.
Also, what's an egghead with
I like King Tut.
Yeah.
And the reason is because he was a classic villain, right?
Yes. Because
he look at this. He did the
yeah.
This is getting fixed too.
Oh.
He got bonked on the head.
Okay.
He was an Egyptologist.
Oh, that's right.
Just like a professor. Just dowdy. He was a very, very nice guy. Just a professor. Gets bonked on the head. Thinks he's King Tut and becomes a villain for Batman. That's in the end, when he gets captured,
they bop him on the head, right?
Even Batman says, we feel sorry for him because it wasn't his fault. It wasn't his fault. Had he not got bonked on the head, he wouldn't have gone a little nutso.
I mean, who hasn't? Who hasn't been bonked on the head and gone for a multi-state, crime spree?
Exactly.
I don't know.
Oh, he had henchwomen too.
Ooh.
Yeah, and a couple of them were.
That's
trying to think. I looked this up. There was a woman that I really like, an actress from the '60s.
Yeah.
And she was in these different movies and stuff. She might have been in Star Trek, some Star Trek episodes, and she's one of the henchwomen. Because there's all that, that you could go back to Batman '68 or whatever it is and find all these classic, people. I mean, the cat. I love the cat women, and I love all the cat women.
Julie Newmar, Eartha Kitt. There's a third one.
Lee Merriweather.
Dang! Aha! Lee Merriweather.
Dude, the B12 has not kicked in today, too. I can't think of a name, so the fact that I pulled that out.
I had to bring caffeine with me. I got to
always. Look what I didn't do. Fill up my cup. All right. So before we get started, hey, wait, we started already anyway. I got a new thing that I'm going to turn on.
Excellent. New thing.
Yes. Okay. So stuff is working sort of again. There's one thing that's not working, but I had time to come down here and fix stuff.
Yes.
Well. Okay. Since this is the visual part.
Yes.
Remember last time I had?
You're going Zildjian.
Oh yeah, baby.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are going symbols today.
Go, baby. Yeah. And I realized that I really shouldn't just wear a weird hanging T-shirt on camera.
Well, we
so I put the jacket on because I need a little, because I look. I mean, the T-shirt was great. Everything was great. I'm not a model. Okay. I mean,
if that's the case, why am I even on camera?
Yeah. Hence why people wear like Hawaiian shirts on Friday and ball caps.
I know. And if I ever catch whoever did that, let me tell you, I'm gonna have a stern.
It works.
Well, it's Friday, man. I'm going for the whole, almost like today. I'm like the middle-aged Beach Boys, Kokomo sort of vibe,
Oh my gosh! Didn't Mike Love turn into like a jackass or something?
I know.
I believe he did. I could be wrong. If I'm wrong, you can correct me. And you can correct me soon on Twitter in a second. Look, I got to fill up my glass here.
I could be, but
he turned into like, one of those, weirdos.
Well, I'll have you know that I'm attempting, right? This broadcast, I'm attempting to go jackass free.
Okay. Well, you know what I mean.
I
in the past,
I get you. Yeah.
November 2020, that sort of thing. Yeah. Like the rest of the Beach Boys were like, oh no, dude, we're out. It was like, he was like, but I'm the Beach. And isn't the Beach Boys like one of those bands where there's like 4 Beach Boys, like 4? It's like,
yeah.
Here at the Oregon State Fair, it's the Beach Boys, and it's like, well, which Beach Boys are we? Where the band splits up and they take the names, like Clarence.
Yeah.
What the
John Fogerty's Clarence Clearwater Revival.
Say that 3 times when you're drunk.
I saw they used to play after the Portland Beaver games back in the day. Like,
you're kidding me.
Beach Boys.
CCR?
No, Beach Boys.
Oh, Beach Boys.
They'd always play like after like double headers when it's close to like July 4th. God, and I swear I went to a Beaver game one time that said featuring the Beach Boy.
All the Timbers got was a bunch of drunk guys from Kells. Back in the 70s, I'm saying.
Yeah.
And Timber Jim.
But you got, but you got to see.
Actually,
Pele,
we didn't even have Timber Jim. We had the tree. People don't know this. Okay.
Oh, that's right.
I better start this because there might be.
Wasn't that similar to like Stanford's mascot, the giant tree that runs around?
Yeah, and what happened was the tree one time, I think the Timbers were losing, if I remember correctly. This was back in the 70s. And the tree went up to the other mascot and simulated an act. And after that, they kind of fired the tree.
How would you like to be the guy that was the tree that got fired and you're trying to go for another job on your resume? So it says here you were let go as the tree.
Hey, weren't you the tree who was trying to the San Jose Rowdy?
Now, to be fair, it was fake copulation. Okay,
exactly.
It wasn't real.
All right. Okay, we got to try this. I got something new for you. Big surprise.
Hey, all right.
Have you heard of Clubhouse? No, because you don't follow that startup garbage, and you're a good person for it. Have you heard of Spaces? So Clubhouse was basically Blog Talk Radio in 2021.
Oh.
Although with better quality.
Yeah.
Let's admit that. Blog Talk,
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Twitter, of course, like Twitter and Facebook, when somebody comes up with something that's hot and new.
Yeah.
Like Elon Musk got it, and you had to get invited.
Ooh.
And you could only use it on your iPhone. That's cute, right? And I had an Android at the time. You love my hair? So, Twitter and Facebook, not to be outdone.
Yeah.
They got to, jump on it. So Twitter ended up with this thing called Spaces.
Spaces.
And I've never tried it, and I want to try it. So I got my space going here on my Twitter. First, I got to allow mic access. Twitter would like to access the microphone. Okay.
So is it basically just phone top sort of recording?
It says share captions. Include the disability community by allowing your captions to be seen in this space. Sure. Let them laugh at our stupidity.
That's right.
I shouldn't say them. Your space.
Everyone.
Spaces are public and anyone can join. Name your space. Jason is a jackass.
Wow. Evidently, I failed trying to get through the podcast.
Oh, I won't say that.
Who had the Vegas betting pool? There's like some guy out there like, I got it.
Conversation.
2 minutes. I got it.
Curmudgeons. How about that?
Ooh. Yeah. Now they can like ask questions or whatever? Is that what's...
I have to allow them. Start your space.
That would be kind of cool. If
Connecting.
we did that.
I don't know.
So
Talk normal. Host. Oh, mic is off. Gonna turn the mic on. Hopefully you can hear me.
I wonder if I'm able to do that on my phone. Or is that just still Apple?
No, actually, I think you can do the spaces on your Android.
Because that'd be cool for like people like questions or comments or things.
Invite via
of that
DM,
nature.
share via tweet. Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Let's see. I started a space. Curmudgeons.
Ooh. Makes it sound futuristic. Space curmudgeons.
Live. I've never done this before. Live. Compelling. Right now. Boing, boing, boing. Tweet.
Excellent.
Okay. Your tweet was sent.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I'm sure nothing will happen.
There you go. Here, I'll tell you what. We're gonna do this live on the show. I'll
Yeah, you just look me up.
Yeah.
And
I'll share it out.
I wonder if you can see it. This is all an experiment.
Mm-hmm.
I just do this as an experiment.
That's right. It's all a science experiment.
Log into Twitter. Oh, I guess if I logged in here, it would work. Let's see. Okay, so I just wanted to copy link to tweet. Link. Okay, great. Got that. Yeah. Okay. So there you go. So there the thing is. Now I'm gonna send it to somebody else. But anyway, who knows? Never tried it. Oh, hello.
Yeah.
Okay. So anyway, yeah, there it is, and we just turned it on, and we'll see. I a lot of the time I just lurk and listen in. So it's kind of a cool way to listen in, I thought, or something. I don't know. I got it all wired up, as you can see, to my iPhone.
I dig it.
So hopefully it should work. Okay. So. Oh, nice. Oh, yeah. 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 I just got a nice T-shirt.
All right then. Look at that.
Yeah. Okay. So there we go. So that's how that goes. All right. So that's exciting. So I'm still working with my glasses. The next thing I'm going to do, I want to do like some AirPods or something.
AirPods.
So I don't have all this crap flying around. Yeah. I
agree.
But it's not AirPods, right?
No.
It's like a thing where so the AirPods connect to your iPhone, whatever the hell this thing is, right? And so or your other phone. I said they got them for Android now too.
Sure. Yeah.
Because Apple does something with Android.
Well, I have not here, but at Casa Jason, I have wireless. The wireless setup for my phone. I can.
Are they like little pods that go in your ears?
Little
cool.
They're like little.
Well, they're all Bluetooth.
Yeah, they're all little beep.
So what I want to do, and I've wanted to do this for years, is get a little Bluetooth transmitter.
Ooh.
And then you could wear those in your ear like this, and then you don't have this wire.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm going to do.
Cool.
Later.
Ooh, technology.
Yeah, just playing around for no reason at all. Because why not? I got stuff working though. But anyway, so this is my T-shirt, my Zildjian. Always wanted. I don't think I've ever owned a Zildjian T-shirt in my life. Like I always wanted one, but I don't think I ever got one.
Gotcha.
And I am a Zildjian endorser. No, I'm not an endorser, but I am a Zildjian person.
Sure.
my two pride and joys are an Arvedis Zildjian from Connecticut, U.S., made in the mid to late 60s, and a K Zildjian made in Constantinople. Istanbul.
Yeah.
From Turkey, from the K Zildjian factory, the original Turkish factory, from, again, the late 60s, mid to late 60s.
Oh, I've always, even way back in the day, I enjoyed during that time being a real gearhead. So as far as like the T-shirts go, okay, what about the iconic Pearl drum T-shirt? It always says Pearl.
Yeah.
Because back in the day, I had a Marshall.
Yeah. People done
amplification.
Pearl. I wasn't so much Pearl. I ended up. When I bought my first drum set, I bought it off of what was the equivalent of Craigslist.
Okay.
Which was called the nickel ads.
I love the nickel
analog
ads.
Version of Craigslist.
Sometime
they still exist.
Yeah, we need to do a deep dive into nickel ads. Because that was such an institution when I was young, right? You're right. That was Craigslist before it was Craigslist.
Yeah.
It was.
But you had to pay like a nickel to get on there.
Yeah.
It was more than a nickel, though. Why did they call it nickel ads? It's hey, this is $5.
This ain't no nickel.
I'm calling the Better Business Bureau.
How dare you?
But I mean, that was the thing. Here's where newspapers journalism screwed itself.
Okay.
Is that putting a classified ad in the Oregonian was expensive.
Exceedingly expensive, yes.
And so then nickel ads comes along and goes, hey, we're just going to throw these papers all over the shopping, Safeway or whatever.
Yeah.
And make it easy. That's it. There's your classified ads. That's the whole dang paper.
Yeah.
And so $5 or whatever, and you put your ad in.
Yeah.
So this has all happened before Craigslist.
All happened before it. I remember the two big things when I was young or a teenager growing up was nickel ads. You ready for this? Auto Trader.
Oh,
that magazine. You always get
That's still around. They're still around.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm telling you, nickel ads, I think, is still around, too.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah. But, and then I got to quit looking up. Got to quit looking up when I talk and think right now. Really bad tick. ADHD, Asperger's thing that I picked up over the pandemic is all like, hey, yeah. Anyway, I noticed I saw a little tiny snippet of the video from last time, and I'm like, oh God, man, I'm a mess. But we all are.
First show back, things are,
But anyway, but people were complaining about Craigslist. It hurt the journalism and because now we don't have the classified ads, it's like nobody advertised in those stupid classified ads.
No.
I mean, big companies like looking for jobs or something like that, like
car dealers.
But it was always like nickel ads for your gear.
Yep.
Motorcycles, used drums.
Yep.
Guns. Did they allow guns? I can't remember.
Probably back in the day before
hunting and camping.
Before the gun laws that you couldn't
I don't know.
Party or whatever.
Real
I don't know.
Blue collar kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the nickel ads. I'm either going to buy a set of Pearl drums, a motorcycle, or a gun. That pretty much would define
or just some weird knick-knack
Portland,
thing.
Oregon back in the day.
Yeah, some weird knick-knack thing that you're like, oh my God, I gotta have this. I must have this. Some weird sort of,
A wife wants a new cabinet. What is that thing called? What is that cabinet called? There's a bureau, not a bureau.
Oh, could it be a credenza?
Yes, a credenza.
Credenza? That sounds so polished and everything.
Yeah, I always get my credenzas mixed up with my cadenzas.
That's right. Me lady wants a credenza, so I'm on the nickel ad.
Yeah, no, and so you hire an opera singer to come in and sing to her, and you're like, I asked for a credenza, not a cadenza.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
Or if you spell it even worse, you've turned it into a crescendo. And it's like, whoops, I hate this auto spell.
And you're like, sorry, Pavarotti, here's your $5 back here.
That's right.
Good luck with the 3 tenors.
We've just insulted all 3 tenors. and they're not happy.
No, I just
But at least
English is weird.
At least
and it's
they'll be
not even
cussing
English.
Well, yeah, but they'll be cussing us out in range. You know, at least it'll sound good.
Yeah.
Son of a, you know, like, all right, that's
No, there's another word for cabinetry, you know, that's weird, and I can't remember what it is. It's like something you'd see on the Antiques Roadshow. Does anybody watch that? Yes, everybody watches that. It's like the one thing that's keeping OPB alive.
Oh, there's all sorts of names. Everything's got a niche these days.
You go over to my parents, man, and it's like there's a Blazers playoff game going on, and my mom's like, Antiques Roadshow. And me and my dad are like, whoa, 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 whoa. LeBron James is going for the last minute 3. But there's a turn of the century colonial from credenza that I want to see.
0.9 seconds. Dame has the ball, and he's going to... Wow, I can't believe this is from Egypt. I really like it. No! Oh!
Well, lady, if you wouldn't have painted it, it would be priceless. But you painted it, and it's worth $5 now.
Yeah, that looks kindergarten to me. Thank you, sir. And then you turn it back, right? And it's like, oh, that was the best ending anyone's ever seen in the NBA. Yeah. Well, good night, folks. See you on SportsCenter. And like, oh, you missed it. That's my luck.
Exactly. No, it's always like, and over there, and, you know, they got multiple TVs, right?
Sure.
Because that's what you do.
That's what you do
when you're older. And of course, there's
don't look up when you say that. Older.
Well, you know. But anyway, Zildjian T-shirt keeps you young.
Yes.
So they had the one big TV, right? The one, you know, it was like, I swear to God, honest, true story.
Okay.
My parents saved up all their Costco bucks and coupons and all, you know, all that stuff. You know, your S&H Christmas stamps or whatever they are.
I remember that my parents
stamp.
used to
they
do that. And the S&P or something like that. Or S&W. S&W?
No, S&W is the food.
Smith & Wesson, sorry.
S&P is the 500. I don't know. Maybe that is the S&P 500. It's like they just, all these old rich people saved up their stamps and now they're worth billions.
If anyone's on Spaces, they can look it up and tell us.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway. I'm not well liked on Twitter anymore, even though my account is like, you know, from the first days of accounts.
I was going huge during this whole political.
Did you try to join it?
I did. The Spaces? No, not yet.
We gotta get you to join it.
I'm gonna have to. I'll have my wife do it for me. She's the technical.
No, we should try it in studio. Okay. But anyway, they saved up all this money, right? Mm-hmm. Or all this stuff, not money, fake money, whatever.
Oh, sure.
And they went out to Costco and got this ginormous Samsung TV. Mm-hmm. And it was like $5. It was like
I love that.
You know, we got this too. Do you think this is good? It's like, Samsung. Yeah,
that's what I was.
Pretty much everyone does Samsung, Sharp, whatever.
That is what's missing from today's generations. Is I remember when I was a kid, I'd go in grocery shopping with my mom, and you know, she would be this couponimous, right? And she's doing all this, she's slinging all this stuff, dude. And then they at the very end, okay, that will be $12.50. You know, like, wow, that's great stuff. But
on the other hand, the counter argument is you could get hit by a car tomorrow, and there's all your stamps. Someone else can take them.
Right.
Live in the moment.
There is that. You know.
That was kind of a Jedi thing.
Yeah.
It was kind of like, oh, don't look at you. Live in the moment, Luke. You know, something like that.
Yeah, that is. And then you got to live in the moment.
But anyway, so they got this huge wide. It's not 4K though. But I was like, who cares? You know, now it's like, well, it's not 4K. It doesn't have the. It has a smart out. It has everything, right? Yeah. It actually looks great. It's those big TVs. They have circuitry in there that make the HD look really good. I've gone over there and pulled stuff up that I've produced, like you know, stuff we've shot and directed and whatnot, and put it up on the screen. It's like, wow, it looks good. I mean, it was like, wow, okay, that looks good.
Yeah.
I burned a Blu-ray of a concert I produced once, a classical concert. I was like, let's see what this looks like in the Blu-ray on your TV. And it was like, oh, wow, this looks fantastic. I mean, it's sort of like, this is better than YouTube. And YouTube looks really great.
Yeah.
They watch church on YouTube, right?
A lot of people do. Yeah. A lot of people do now.
Yeah, so I went over there like last year and got them all hooked up so that they could watch their church on YouTube, and like no problems. Cool. It was like click, click.
Yeah.
Every week it's like, oh yeah, we got our church going on the big screen TV. So I'm like, good for you.
I remember way back in the day when the big screens first came out. They were big, huge console things. But I remember when the first HD came out. Yeah,
me too.
And we had to get one. Had to. Ooh,
really?
But I remember sitting there being so marveled about watching. The first thing we ever watched, really, I turned it over to, of course, ESPN, and they had a baseball game going on.
Right.
And I remember back in the day, I was so marveled by the fact that you could see the individual blades of grass, and it looked so crystal clear, almost like you were looking through a really thin pane window at the real thing, And I remember like, wow. And then you look at today's with the 4K, and the smart and all the smart technology that goes into it. And I'm just blown away. But I'm so old now and decrepit that I can't appreciate it because you got this great visual going on. It's like I can't see to begin with, So you're like, honey, this is great, isn't it? I'm like, yeah, sure.
Yeah, I mean,
great.
Yeah, that whole thing was weird when they transitioned over to the HD. Like, it caught me a little bit off guard for the streaming.
Yeah.
Because it was like, oh, that we won't have the bandwidth to stream in HD, and then it just kind of, with the technology,
just kind of happened.
We did,
yeah,
and the technology and the chips, and then they rolled out some chips, so it was like all of a sudden, I went from standard definition live streaming, pretty crappy, to HD like overnight, and it was like, wow, I didn't see that come. Like I could see like doing videos that you would post online,
sure.
But actually streaming live like we are right now in HD, I was like, and this was like 10 years ago, 12 years ago.
Look how far.
12 years ago.
Yeah.
Back in like 2010, 2011. Like all of a sudden, boom.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people were still doing standard def, and I tried, but it was like, boy, man, it's like you'd go from one HD thing.
Oh, you're hooked.
And then try to like go to standard def, and you're like, yeah, no.
Yeah, this ain't working anymore. Yeah,
it's like going from the stereo to the mono.
Yeah, oh, I got you. I was totally hooked after that.
Were you like stuff? Were you like? Do you remember when TV started broadcasting in stereo?
I do.
You remember David Letterman show?
Yeah,
the David Letterman show. NBC was one of the first major networks, as I remember,
to go
stereo.
Yeah,
and David Letterman show being one of their top viewed programs, late night with David. Wait, that was CBS though, but he was on NBC. This was when he was on NBC.
Yeah, this was
when he was on NBC.
Yeah, this was pre-CBS because I remember when I went stereo, and I remember watching on David Letterman.
Yeah, but it was NBC.
Yeah, Bruce Springsteen was on it, and I remember watching that in HD, and I was like, just.
No, I'm talking about the stereo though.
Right, the sound of it. Yeah, because he played live. Actually, he jumped up on Dave's table and started slinging the guitar.
If you listen to the, if you see an old video, they'd have like a graphic. So it's like, it would like, so David Letterman show started, and this big graphic would say, in stereo, where available.
With the little peacock thing, right?
Yeah, and the thing is...
Now in stereo.
Yeah, it would like tell you right there, like, ooh, live in stereo, like part of the graphic of the opening of the show. And of course... The cool thing about Letterman was when you heard it. I mean, first of all, even if you didn't have a stereo TV, they upped the quality of the audio, so it sounded better anyway. And then when you got stereo, it was like, whoa, this sounds great. And of course, with David Letterman, it was a Paul Schaefer band.
Yeah,
and they sounded fantastic.
Yeah,
Paul Schaefer band. I mean, you have great bands in late night television. You have
Doc Severinsen. Yeah,
Tonight Show band.
Yep.
Paul Schaefer, and the David Letterman Late Night Band.
Yep.
the Saturday Night Live band,
Yes.
who Schaefer came from.
Donald Duck Dunn. They had all those guys.
Tom Scott.
Yeah.
Bones Malone.
Yes.
David Sanborn would sit in.
Yes. I remember all the time on David Letterman, Sanborn would always sit in on there. It was incredible.
And there were people who were like musicians who would go on those shows with like a guy like Paul Schaefer and go, "Oh no, yeah, we'd like to use your band. You guys, play with us," because it was like,
all the time,
you know. And and Schaefer in Late Night he had now I can't remember Greg Bissonette on drums.
Who?
Greg Bissonette.
Paulie?
Yeah. Late Night. Greg Bissonette on
also
drums.
had
Anton Fig on the bass.
No, drums. Anton Fig's drummer.
Oh. Reverse that.
Yes.
It was Anton Fig on the drums.
Yep.
Greg Bissonette on bass.
Bissonette's brother. Remember, he had a brother who played bass.
One of them played with David Lee Roth.
Yeah. Yes, the brother.
I saw him live. I saw when David Lee Roth played
Greg
with Steve
Bissonette.
Vai.
Yeah, Greg Bissonette's a drummer, and his brother is like Jim or something like that, and he's the bass player.
Okay.
Yeah.
I believe you. I mean.
Yeah, because they brought him in. They brought Bissonette's brother in on the second album when
American drummer. Yeah,
Billy Sheehan left.
Yeah, Greg Bissonette.
Greg Bissonette. I thought it was Jim, but it's Greg.
He's an American drummer, jazz rock.
Yeah, drummer.
He was a member of David Lee Roth Band.
Yeah.
And there's the brother of Matt.
There you go.
That's who you're talking about. Yeah, I was right in the first place.
You were right. Mm-hmm.
But there was Anton Fig, too.
Yeah. I always remembered
Anton Fig joined when Bissonette, I think, left and played with Letterman, I think.
Oh, okay.
Billy Sheehan.
I always thought it was Anton
Bissonette
Fig.
got his big break joining former Van Halen frontman David Lee Roth.
Mm-hmm.
The band included guitarist Steve Vai and future Mr. Big bassist Billy Sheehan. I saw that.
Yep.
I got the ticket. I saw that tour.
Yeah. I remember
Eat 'em and Smile tour.
Yeah.
But where was his thing about? Oh, he played with Maynard Ferguson, of course.
See, I remember when Roth put together that band right after he left for Eat 'em and Smile. And I remember being, oh my God, they got the bass player from the band Talus back in the day. And that's Sheehan, right? That's what I remembered him as. And it just kind of sent him up into the major leagues.
What was his... But,
heck of a bass player, by the way.
I'm still trying to figure out, though... Because I thought he was on Dave Letterman.
I always thought it was Anton Fig.
Was? Oh, so what you think is Matt was the...
Yeah.
Well, that's confusing.
Because Greg was the drummer, and I never remember him in Letterman's band. I remember Anton Fig. Not to say it wasn't there,
so weird. All right.
Yeah.
That's so weird. That whole brother thing in music. Especially if you're a bass player and a drummer.
Yeah.
That's convenient.
You kind of get grouped together in the rhythm section there, and then.
Huh. Well, that's weird. I swear he played with Letterman and then was replaced by Anton Fig because he went touring. Yeah. That's what I thought.
I don't know. Could be.
Now I got to look up Anton Fig.
Because I remember on the show, Letterman used to call Anton Fig his name.
Yeah, I remember when he was on there.
He used to call him Anton Zip for some reason. I was like, oh, okay.
David Letterman, for whom the band served as house band for the late night talk shows, often referred to him as Anton Zip.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
He played with Kiss and Ace Frehley.
Yep.
Fig began playing drums.
Frehley's Comet.
Huh. Ace Frehley's. I didn't know he played.
I'm going to give you Anton Fig trivia. You ready for this?
What?
This is going to blow you away. Peter Criss was deemed, because remember, he was leaving the band in 1980, right?
Mm-hmm.
He was deemed not up to snuff behind the skins anymore. So on the album Unmasked, Anton Fig.
Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, you were right. 1986. He was with the band. Huh.
Yeah, he's Frehley's Comet. He did some session work for Kiss.
With David Letterman. Why did I think Greg Bissonette? You know what? I think he sat in or something.
Could be.
You know, because sometimes obviously dudes sit in and because other dudes have to go do gigs and stuff.
Yeah.
And I just saw him sitting in like sometimes they do a week gig. It's like, hey, I'm in New York. Hey, you want to come and sit in because Anton's got to go do this recording session. We're looking for a dude. And it's like, sweet. Yeah, I'll come sit in.
I remember
like when Paul Schaefer calls you to sit in with the band. It's
go.
Like, you go.
Yeah.
It's not like, I got to think about it. It's like, no, dude, I'm there.
Yeah, I remember a pre-American Idol Randy Jackson sitting in playing bass one night on David Letterman. It's when he was filling in on the very last Journey album, Raised on Radio.
Oh, yeah.
And when he took over bass duties.
It's just like SNL. I mean, I know that they've released some of that music, but...
Classic stuff.
Some of that, I remember seeing Miles Davis come back on Saturday Night Live.
Yeah.
That was legendary.
Mm-hmm. Zappa.
The first time I ever saw Bjork was the Sugar Cubes live. It was the Sugar Cubes with Matthew Broderick was the host.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. I remember seeing a lot of... Because back then it was the thing to have the cool avant-garde type bands on there. I remember Zappa was on there. They had
that was
Todd
legendary.
Rundgren. Just all the really cool.
Well, Zappa did a whole New York tour, and actually some of the guys in the SNL band are on those concerts. I mean, they even have Don Pardo on that record.
Nice.
Yeah.
When you're getting Don Pardo.
Yeah, he introduces a song called, wait for it, I should do this. He introduces one called The Illinois Enema Bandit. The Illinois Enema Bandit.
Nice.
One day you're going to pay this. It's a really good song and disgusting lyrics by Zappa, as always.
Do you remember the song that David Letterman's band wrote, performed, and released as a single?
Nope.
Called Dress Cool.
No, I don't remember that one.
Yeah, look it up on YouTube.
Yeah?
Paul Schaefer and his band Dress Cool.
Oh, I believe it. Yeah. They did a whole record? Did they do a record?
I know they did a single.
Because Tonight Show Band did a record or two.
Yeah.
They did put out a record or two.
Yeah.
And see, Tonight Show Band, same thing. Those guys were all just like the session musicians.
Yeah.
L.A. There's a cool
Surprised
thing.
they didn't have Tower of Power sitting in all the time.
But Tower of Power did show up. I remember Tower of Power on Letterman.
Yeah.
Dave Garibaldi, Tower of Power.
There you
drummer.
Go. Mm-hmm.
I have his autograph.
No.
I met him once under weird circumstances, but that's a whole... That's a story for another time.
Do tell. Under strange circumstances. Like, really?
Well, I think the story got reported in the Oregonian.
Oh.
I know. It's like...
Well. Hold on there. I'm getting... Producers in the back says, yes, we must hear this.
Well, okay, so what happened was...
Yes?
Tower of Power. It turns out a couple of guys in Tower of Power, a few of the Tower of Power band, they kind of went off from Tower of Power, and one of them was Dave Garibaldi.
Dun, dun,
Great drummer, by the way.
Oh.
Fantastic. Like one of the coolest Tower of Power from the 70s, man. Like if you want to learn anything about funk drumming, Dave Garibaldi. I don't know why I'm pointing to my Zildjian shirt, but he's a drummer. But anyway,
should I have my hand come in from the side and just underneath go?
I did. You know what I posted the other day on my Twitter? Because everyone's going crazy.
Sure.
Soul vaccination.
Oh.
I said, hey, you may be getting set up, but did you get your soul vaccination?
That's right. Soul vaccination.
Paul Schaefer and the band used to play that. They used to come out of commercial playing soul vaccination. I remember. I
dig it. I dig it.
But anyway, so you want to hear this weird story about Dave Garibaldi?
I not only want to, I have to hear the story.
I got it. See, but I don't have the visual. I don't have his.
Oh, that's
I found it the other day though.
Okay.
In my stuff, it was like, that's Dave Garibaldi.
I still want to hear it. Got it. I need to hear this.
So, some guys from Tower of Power split off from the band and formed another band.
Okay.
But they were backed by a cult.
Oh. Okay. Excellent.
I'm not kidding. Like this weird church thing,
Kinda
organization.
Like New Age, sort of, maybe. Moonies. I don't know. What is it?
It was called something, and I don't know
Back in the 70s, it could be anything.
Yeah.
Or 80s,
it was weird. It was a I'm not going to say the name because I'd look it up and see, but it was a like further research.
Yes.
You know.
Yeah.
Was like, oh yeah, these guys are Christians and
in air quotes.
Yeah, a little weird. Yeah. You know, I mean, one person's cult is another person. I don't know. But they were a cult, I mean, look, I could barely get through Sunday school and Catholic school. I was like, I don't need no more. And my grandma was a Pentecostal. And it was just like, come on, man. I don't need any more of this crap, okay?
One man's Pentecostal is another man's Heaven's Gate.
Yeah, but
okay, maybe
but my grandma was a Pentecostal coming out of Quaker.
Oh,
so
that's
I mean,
interesting.
that was like an update, man.
That is a paradigm shift.
She was growing up with parents who didn't allow music or card playing
that's like a polar shift.
I mean, that's like real Amish stuff, and she would complain about it all the time, and so she got in. Okay, the Pentecostal thing.
Yes.
Or what? I don't know if it was Assembly of God. That's like that's kind of a thing.
I thought they were like they were a step down from
they're
the Pentecostal.
all that Southern tent revival stuff.
Okay. Now
they're all. I mean, there's Baptist. I thought at first she was a Baptist, but what turned out.
Yeah.
I think it was Assembly, but that was like Swaggart and those guys are Assembly of God or whatever. I mean, they're all like those guys. Billy Graham, that kind of stuff.
Okay.
See, and so like remember in the 20s and the 30s and stuff, dudes would go around with their tents and have tent revivals.
There's a circuit of it,
and it was just like the Middle Ages, where the only show in town was the church.
Yep.
Like that was it, man.
Honey, carnival's coming down.
You might have, as a peasant, enough spare change to go down to the pub and drink some ale and listen to a minstrel. But the best show in town was the church.
Yep.
Because they paid people like whoever and Bach, but that was Lutheran. That was a bad church, according to the Catholic Church. But they had the best show in town. Yeah. So same thing, right? People would have the tent revival. People were like, the Depression and all that stuff.
Sure.
They set up a tent. Preacher would come out, preach that stuff because a good preacher. Come on.
Dust Bowls going on. You got the guys coming in and doing rain dances.
Oh, your American music, your great singers in American music come oftentimes from a gospel background.
Yes.
Still to this day, gospel kicks butt. In fact, I just heard a thing on KMHD several weeks back.
Yeah.
A jazz musician was this really strong gospel thing, and he was doing an interview, and they were playing and stuff, and it was like, oh man, this guy can sing. And he was like, yeah, my background is in gospel, and I put that into my.
Where do you think Whitney Houston learned to sing?
Yeah. And her mom and all that stuff. And
Mahalia Jackson. Oh, man.
So that's kind of how my grandma got into being.
Elvis Presley. Yeah. His early stuff was all gospel. Yeah.
So it's legit. But it's kind of like, no offense, Christians, it's an entertainment, right? Mm-hmm. And then preacher comes out and does that stuff that the preacher does, and people go, whoa, yeah, and you get all up in it,
Oh, yeah.
And political figures, people who do that, public speakers, these guys who come out and motivate you and stuff, they're just doing that, all right? They're all just doing that. That's all they're doing.
Good movie. I liked it. I mean, it did okay in the box office, but good movie about that sort of theme is Leap of Faith. Steve Martin's got like Meatloaf in it and stuff. He's a traveling sort of in the South.
I think I've seen it once a long, 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 long time ago.
It's got like I'm gonna screw up her name. She was the love interest.
Bernadette Peters?
No, Davidovich. I want to say Lolita, but I don't think so. Maybe it was Lolita Davidovich. She was an 80s. Mainly in the 80s. Fiery Redhead played the love interest.
Describes about half of
Hollywood. But like Meatloaf was in it, Steve Martin was in it, a bunch of character type actors were in it. And it's about the showman who goes around through the South doing tent revivals, and he's an entertainer.
Yeah, I've seen that movie. It was a long, long, long time ago.
But I mean that's that's what they did. But way back.
But anyway.
traveling back to the traveling troubadour days.
But that's kind of how my grandma like got into that, because she came from what essentially was like, I mean, I thought it was Amish, like, but it was Quaker, I guess.
Yeah.
But it was like from the old country. And that's like stuff where you don't scream and you don't play the drums. And
hardcore Quakers, man. You sit down, you do not talk.
Yeah, they were hardcore.
You're supposed to do that internal sort of... Yeah.
And you can't wear any clothes, you know. I mean, you wear clothes, but... you know what I'm saying,
Darn those Quakers,
clothes, man.
They
clothes,
know what a part.
Fashion. You know, you can't wear no threads and the whole thing.
And bring attention to yourself.
It was weird. It was weird.
But that's such a paradigm shift. I mean, think about it. You're going from Quaker...
to the real deal.
Yeah, Pentecostal / you know, what we call
tent
in the old
revival
days
stuff.
Holy rollers.
Yes,
back
holy
in the day.
rollers.
Yeah.
But and she was actually for her time a feminist too. So factor that all in. It's fascinating things.
Yeah.
But
sounds
back
like
to Dave Garibaldi.
Yes, yeah.
So these guys formed a band, and they were like backed by some church, which people looked into, and so they were going around giving free concerts.
There's another group that did that. Oh man, they did that song, Ooh,
free concerts.
Baby, I love your way, right?
Oh,
they did that, and they did it was like this song. But this group though is like Will to Power. They had this hit where they did that one song, and it turns out they were just a group that went around doing inspirational sort of
every day.
You know,
that's kind of a sexy song for a religious cult. Well, of course, a lot of weird things happen in religious cults, as we know.
Yes.
Some of them are fronts for...
Yeah. I remember they were a group,
craziness.
And then they got exposed as being some like guys that went around trying to bilk people for money, being all the power of positivity and stuff.
Well, this wasn't Tower of Power. I want to be clear.
No.
This was not Tower of Power.
Yeah.
This was... Dude, I even have the flyer. Like, see, I could be showing it to you if I would have known we would talk about this. My Billy Cobham story is not nearly this interesting. And Billy's a great drummer, man.
Oh, yeah.
His is just like his signature's on a chart that he was... It was a clinic with Billy. Billy Cobham, I went to a clinic. It was like a drum clinic.
You are a drummer. That's what you do.
At the Pine Street Theater at the time, which was later called La Luna, which is now not there anymore.
La Luna.
Like every drummer in Portland was like, "Oh, let's go see Billy Cobham."
La Luna. The best concert I ever saw there was Reverend Horton Heat and this band out of L.A., which I just dug. They never got to the show, but man, the Lunatics.
Yeah.
Oh, their cover version of Boston's More Than a Feeling, blow you away. Wow.
I never played La Luna. I had friends who played La Luna.
Yeah.
The band sort of broke up, and then other bands formed that I wasn't in. They played La Luna.
Street, yeah.
But Pine Street. And I did see shows there. I can't remember all the shows, but the one I do remember, Bjork.
Yeah.
Bjork at La, because I got the ticket and everything. There's other shows I saw, but Bjork was, because you remember Bjork. And,
of course.
And the cool thing is Pine Street La Luna was a small venue. So it was very cool. You could get up relatively
very
close
intimately, yes.
Which is really cool.
Yeah. I got a very quick Bjork aside, right? I'm watching the wife loves to watch The Masked Singer, which I can barely tolerate.
Yeah.
Barely
Yeah.
tolerate.
No, thank you.
And, they were trying to guess this female that was in a costume, female singer in a costume, very talented. But the guy is like, oh, yeah, well, she's from, it's got to be Canadian, so it's got to be Bjork. I'm like, she's from Iceland, dude.
Yeah.
You're way off, bro. And so
the other Canada.
Right. And so I turned to wife and I said, Canada? And she looked at me like, who cares? I'm like, all right, get back. Anyway, that's my Bjork aside. Please.
Yeah.
Continue with the Dave Garibaldi.
You can't sleep on my couch, by the way. When she kicks you out for telling that story.
She's stuck with me.
Anyway, see, I should have cut to that.
Here, let's do it again. She's stuck with me.
Okay, so
yeah.
So yeah, Billy Cobham, Pine Street Theater, clinic, handing out sheet music of the charts, explaining all this complicated drum stuff to drummers, and then like standing in line and getting Billy to sign something. Oh, here's the chart. You sign the chart. So Billy Cobham, great.
Heck yeah.
Great. Legend. Dave Garibaldi, also. So they joined this band. And I think the band was the name of the cult, but I can't remember. And of course, the flyer was with members of Tower of Power. Not all the Tower of Power, just members of.
Members of, right.
And I think it was like one of the sax keyboard players, if I remember, singers.
Okay.
Was one of the dudes.
I got to look this up now. I got to look this up.
Well, I've got the flyer from it.
That's awesome.
And so it was free concerts, right? And so they approached. Okay, so they approached places with young people, including schools and high schools. Now, keep in mind, Jason.
Yeah.
I went to a Catholic high school.
Yes. Buttoned up.
And apparently,
very proper.
They approached my Catholic high school.
Oh, wow. I wonder how that went
and said, hey, free concerts with members of Tower of Power. Now, when the word got out to us,
members of Tower of Power,
we were like, Tower of Power?
Yeah.
Sugar, you know.
Rinks?
Yeah, exactly.
Awesome, yeah.
You know, and I had a friend who was a really good drummer.
I would be pumped
like he won the
up for
state
that.
championship and stuff like that. Yeah. We had some good drummers. And he was just like, you know. And so we were all like excited.
Yeah.
Anybody on the music program was like, this is Tower of Power. It's going to be great. And so, and then it was like, Dave Garibaldi. Can you believe it? In our school.
Yeah. Right, yeah.
I mean, imagine if you know, Neil Peart showed up in some band that wasn't Rush.
Right.
And he was
with
like
members
with members of Rush and Scientology or something.
That would be an interesting mix.
You know what I mean? And so so they show up.
We're on the train to Jonestown.
Oh God!
Aboard the Heaven's Gate Express. Sorry,
can't take you anymore. That was sick. But anyway, so they come and they play like a assembly thing.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So you're thinking to yourself, yes, we're gonna hear some tunes. We're gonna get to meet idols, right? These are the guys that you like hear in your headphones, and you say, "When I grow up, I want to be just like that."
At a Catholic school.
This is
that
great.
Believes in Jesus and the Pope.
Now you know why I needed to hear the story.
There's this little place called Rome where they run the church out of, and a guy with a hat.
I've heard about
and
that
guys
place.
with hats.
I think they call them like miters, but they're hats. Yeah, they're
Pope hats.
Pope hats. And with Pope mobile.
Nuns walking around the school.
They do that.
Some in habits, some not in habits.
You know.
But anyway, so they give this concert. Mm-hmm. And it's like, you know, the whole time, what do we know? We're just like, Dave Garibaldi. And members of Tower of Power.
Yeah.
And it was great. It was great to see him play live.
But did they try to sell you something during it, though?
Well, some of the songs were...
inspirational?
Yes. Mm-hmm. Some of the songs were inspirational, which is fine.
Sure.
For a high school crowd.
Yeah.
You know? Like it probably would have been not good if it's like, we're going to come in and do a show for the kids. And there's like, well, what do you sing about? Sex, drugs, and rock and roll. Yeah, maybe not.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Rolling Stones, but we won't allow you to play. You cancel the Rolling Stones in our Catholic high school.
Says here, Mr. Blackie Lawless.
Exactly.
You're in a band?
So obviously their content was good.
Yeah.
For, positive.
Sure.
Not stuff about,
Yeah.
But then they did have like little testimonial kind of things happen in between songs.
Nice.
And everyone was kind of like, well, that's weird,
So can I ask you this question real quick?
Yeah, sure.
Because I need to ask you.
So I'm trying to remember
a personal thing, right?
Yeah.
When was the moment when you were watching that that it dawned on you that you're being sold something.
Yeah, there was a moment. I'm telling you, there was a moment.
Yeah.
There was. We were there, and after a while, I was like, that's kind of weird, isn't it? Like, my friend, the guitar player, big Italian Catholic family, and, smart friends, not, it was like good SAT scores and all that. Yeah. And I kind of turned to him, and we're like, just kind of like the little, like, in-between songs banter.
Yeah.
Like, not like, that's rockin', I'm going to take another choke. See my lady over there? She loves this song, and we're going to get going after this concert, kids. Let's go. Don't get too drunk. No, it wasn't like that. Like every rock concert ever. It was more like, when I found my calling, when I was sitting in a hotel room.
So you think you're going to get like really cool life lesson from a professional? He's going to tell me the secret to it all?
There were those moments, and it was like, that's interesting. What's the next song? Hopefully it's a Tower of Power song. You know what I mean? It was like that. It was a little odd and a little off. Okay?
Right.
Yeah.
I love that.
And I can't remember how kind of Christian it got into or not. Maybe it did, but there was something off about it. But they played.
Yeah.
And they were great musicians.
Yeah.
So it just happened. So that's how it went, And so then the show was over. It's like, we gotta get an autograph. Like the autograph is on like a inside of a peachy or something. Like it was like, I don't have a pen. How can I miss the rip? Okay, dude, you got a pen? Give me your pen. God, the pen doesn't work. Give me another pen.
Quick, Tommy, give me your T-shirt, dude.
Kill this for this autograph, right? So got the autograph. Interesting. Again, I could give you a visual. I'm telling you the truth.
Okay.
Next time, I'll bring the visuals.
Okay.
I'll bring the flyer and the autograph.
Okay.
This is another place where it got weird. Dave's like, yeah. It's like, oh, Dave Garibaldi, Tower of Power. We got all your records down to the nightclub. Funkifies. Ooh, I love that hi-hat. We play this all the time in band room. And so he signs it. Nice signature. And then underneath the signature, and this was underneath the signature, what do they do kind of in the cultish thing? I sign it, and underneath there's just a little extra line underneath your signature, which is a Bible verse.
Oh,
like like if I started signing stuff and it was like Doc Normal and then John 3:16. You know what I'm saying? Know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got you.
That's always like a tip off. That's always a tip off. It's like, what's this extra part here? Oh, it's a Bible reference, right?
Yeah.
But it wasn't John 3:16. It was like Philippians. I don't know. I never know. Is it Philippians?
Or Ephesians or something.
Yeah.
Something.
Is it Philippians?
Yes.
Is it seriously Philippians?
Yes. Yeah.
Philippians.
Yes, because Paul traveled to Philippi, which is which is near Turkey.
Oh yeah,
when he would do his Asia Minor tour.
Philippians of Philippi.
Philippians, yeah.
I'm sensing a musical here.
Yes.
The Philippians of Philippi.
I am Paul. I'm traveling to Asia Minor.
Yeah, Paul got around, man.
Well, he did. He was touring before it was,
the Greeks, right? What was the Corinthians? The Corinthians.
Corinthians, yep.
Known for their good leather.
Philippians. I almost came out with Philippians. Oh, God.
Philippians. Well, that's kind of...
those Philippians, they got to fall in line, man. They're just...
All right, Paul, time to go visit the Corinthians.
Yes.
You'll love their leather.
Yep.
It's in the Chrysler Cordoba. Trust me. Looks beautiful.
Please try the veal. No, but, Philippians, yes.
The Corinthians.
Yeah.
But the Corinthians are always the ones that
those with the leather.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, I think it's off the
Chrysler Cordoba.
Or it could be it's either Turkey or close to Macedonia, one of the two.
All right.
Sorry,
I think that was what he wrote. It was part of his signature.
Sure.
Or it just said Philip. Was there Philip? Was there Philip in the Bible? Listen to me, Mr. Catholic.
Philip.
Three different religions.
You got me self-conscious. I'm like,
By
oh
the time
man,
you
if
get
I
to
get
college,
this
you
wrong,
just like
I'm
listen to
just gonna,
Zappa and you're just like, oh my god,
Philippians.
I'm just done. You sit in philosophy class and
Yeah.
Wittgenstein or whatever. You're like, I'm done.
No more.
No more.
No more. He's just in this corner screaming "No mas." You know.
Yeah.
I'm next to Roberto Duran.
But anyway, yeah, he
screaming,
wrote.
"No mas."
We'll have to. You know what?
Yeah.
Next time we'll analyze what he quoted in scripture.
Yes.
I didn't pay much never mind to it because I just was like Dave Garibaldi.
Autograph.
Listen to his play live, and got his signature.
Well, to be fair, listen.
This other crap, that's great.
With pretty much every autograph, and I think this is true. Don't quote me on it, but I believe it's not actually not that unnormal. Evander Holyfield, I guess, when he would sign his autograph, would always do some sort of verse underneath.
Yeah.
You know, it's just something.
Yeah,
It's what they do.
I get that. Well, and that's the whole thing too. That was again one of those things where it's like, all right.
Did they sell anything though?
Sweet.
Like they're like, hey,
you know
Dave
what?
Garibaldi, Tower of Power. Hope you kids are having a great time out there. Stay in school, and hey, we got this pamphlet over here, $9.99.
No, but they did invite us to another show. Dude, there you go.
It's the free mixer to get you to go to the seminar, right? You're like, all right. Yeah. I'll have this Mai Tai, but no, you have to show up at the seminar and you got to sit through 3 hours.
The Epistle of the Philippians.
I came home in a really bad mood in a timeshare. I was,
we're gonna have to see if it was Philippians. I think it was
Philippians.
Because I remember it was a P.
Yeah,
and I know it was like
Philippians.
The Book of the Philippines.
Yeah, it's those.
They are religious there.
Those Fallopian Philistines, Philistine. No, it's Philippians.
But anyway,
yes.
The Philip Wilson's really old reference. The Book of Geraldine. Come on, man. This is Curmudgeons.
You
watch TV Land and Me TV and stuff, you'll get our humor.
Yeah,
because that's the only way you'll get it.
Some guy's going to tune in right now, and we're just going to be yelling at the screen, Old Testament, or New Testament, New Testament.
I just did want to do a religious show. But anyway, so he signs this. And yes, they did invite us to another thing. Another shindig.
Yeah.
Actually, was it called Take Off? It was something like that.
Take Off to the Great White North.
Take It or something was the name of this band. No, it was something like that.
Yeah.
It was like Take It. See now?
Okay,
now I'm going to look it all up.
But the picture you're painting, those seminar, like, take it.
I'm going to look it up because... So anyway,
I didn't have any cool school events like that. All we had was like field day.
Dude, I know it was awesome. But anyway, yeah, I think it was called Take It. That's what it was called. I think the name they called their band was Take It. Like,
take the chance. Live your life. Carpe diem. Bam. I got you.
Sell your soul to some weird thing. Take it. Take it. It's right there in front of you. No, I think it was Take It.
Why does this family say sell your soul?
Like, look at, man, I could have the flyers right here, right now, and prepared. But this is what we will check on this. I'll bring them down next time.
Could we find the flyers online?
I'm looking it up.
Yeah.
I'm looking it up right now. So, I think it was called Take It.
Okay.
Because I think what we did is then my band played the talent show, and we came out and we said, hey, we're Fake It. That didn't go over so well.
The rim shot.
Yes.
And off to the side, you didn't know me at the time, but off to the side, there's this weird red-haired dude doing this.
Okay, here we go.
Fake it. Yeah.
Oakland-based Tower Power. Early life and education. I'm just trying to see here. I mean, it may be like, yeah. I don't see anything about this little thing on the Wikipedia page.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know what I mean?
Oh no,
I'm looking at the Wikipedia and it's just like Tower Power and Gino Vanelli. Ooh, Gino Vanelli. I know a guy who plays with Gino.
Oh man, that reminds me kind of a story.
I'm looking. Wow, there's not really anything in there. I think that's what it was
Way
called.
better assemblies than we had.
Dude, this was like
At Putnam, dude. Yeah, we got the cut rate specials.
this was crazy.
We
No, there's nothing. There's nothing online. See, I could have the whole history of it.
See, you got better bands coming to yours, man.
Well, it was free, and the nuns were like, "Okay."
The nuns, you will go. Rapping your knuckles. Hey, listen, when I was in my high school, we did have a band come there and play one time. We did. They were some educational band that taught you about
Here it is. I found them.
the American Revolution, I remember.
Is a global non-denominational Christian ministry based in New Knoxville, Ohio. Oh, well, we'll have to look this up. Calvinism,
Okay, that's... Yeah.
Pentecostalism. Oh, yeah.
Yep.
In a Catholic high school. The Catholics get a little, they get a little
Nervous?
kind of around the collar about that fire and brimstone
The only
Pentecostal stuff.
The only thing the Catholics will embrace that you can get them to say, "Oh yeah," is exorcism. Then they're
that's cool.
exorcism,
And that makes good movies too.
right.
But anyway, so I still have to finish the story.
Oh, Dave
There's
Garibaldi.
still more. So these guys split,
Okay.
and we had our concert, and we had our signature,
Yeah.
and then we had our flyers. The flyer might actually
That's
have
awesome.
an invite to the next their gig.
Yeah.
Like I think that was it. We're promoting our gig. All right. And weird stuff, and Philippians on the signature and all that.
And the Fallopians, yeah.
Okay.
Gotcha.
One of the kids in my school, who I was in class with,
Yeah.
because there was all these kids I could talk about from families.
Sure.
Anyway,
Sure.
his dad was a lawyer. Mm-hmm. And his dad's law firm
Uh-oh.
was in the process at the time that this incident happened, defending someone who had left, I believe, Scientology. Like one of the first big national cases of someone going up against a cult. I'm sorry. Hey, you like Scientology? Good for you.
Yeah.
Whatever. But anyway, like a big lawsuit.
Yeah. Yeah.
So this kid's lawyer's dad was an expert in cults as a lawyer.
I bet you that alarm bell
He
started
gets
ringing.
wind of this
Yeah. Oh.
from his son and goes, what?
Right. They're doing what?
And starts looking into it.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden then the Oregonian articles start to happen and the interviews with the lawyer. And then a follow-up assembly at my school
To tell you that...
with the principal and the staff.
What did they say?
Okay, you may now have heard or possibly read about in the Oregonian about our little concert we had last week. Well, we wanted to just assemble. Now, the school's small, relatively small, right?
Yeah.
Private.
Yeah.
Well, we would like to discuss with you what has transpired about this wonderful band with former members of Tower of Power. Mm-hmm. And so they were basically they were punked.
Yeah.
They were punked.
Taken in. Well, I can see that though. I mean, if you're a...
But yeah, it made press. It might have even made some national news. It was like...
Yeah. Listen, if you're a band guy and you
I have to look this all up.
And you hear that the guys from Tower of Power in this assembly, you're gonna sure.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Former members of the group Rush, Neil Peart, who's also a Mooney.
It's a Mooney. Wow. Stick around next week until Geddy Lee shows up with some snakes charm on there.
Yeah.
Oh, hey.
I know. But I mean, it was wild.
You guys had way better assemblies than ours. Oh my
gosh. There's all
gosh.
sorts of weird crap that happened in my school.
We had a band too that showed up.
Oh yeah,
at Putnam, sure.
Kiss?
No.
Former members of Kiss.
Former
Peter and Chris.
members
For you to go, Peter and Chris.
Wow.
Whoa.
No.
Nice, freely.
The reason why I remember this band is, honest to God band, we had an assembly. Their whole shtick was they were an educational band, and they would talk about the Revolutionary War.
Oh my God!
So they, yes.
Wait.
Yes.
With former members of Paul Revere and the Raiders.
It could be. I don't know.
Come on.
They were wearing the tri-corner hats, the ruffly
Paul
shirts.
Revere and the Raiders. Raiders. Come on, man.
And I remember I was when I saw this, me and my friends were just sitting there like the whole time like this. Right? And I remember going down after the assembly, and I remember going up to the musicians, you know, because they could play and all. And I was like, well, that's an interesting thing you guys did, you know, educational thing. And I swear to God, his answer, talk about a guy that's just like, he's lost his spirit for life. Yeah. He turns around in his tricolor hat and says, this is what you get when the bar band don't make it.
Oh, my God.
And when you're like
the National Endowment of Education has
right when you're
Paul Revere and the Raiders, ladies and gentlemen.
When you're a 16-year-old kid and you're in your first band, right?
Sing about 1789,
and you're starting to play out, and you've got these dreams of
it's a job,
golden dreams, right? That at least we're gonna. And then some guy tells you that this is what happens. I'm like, oh God,
Billy. You know? We've got two options for you. You can play the guitar in a Revolutionary War uniform, or you can sell French fries. Yeah, which would it be?
That's Bobby's trip to the guidance counselor, God. You know. Jason, looking at your scores here, much to be desired. You got a lot to work on. Right now, I'd say that you are qualified to either be a bag boy at a local fine grocery store, or I hear there's openings for crack dealers.
Yeah,
you're like, oh geez, that's my.
It's like my counseling at.
I want to take it then. I at least want to be sold. You know, power positivity. I got guys saying this is what happens when your band doesn't make it, and I'm like, oh,
my kid,
yeah,
growing up in grade school had Captain Bog and Salty. Come on now, pirate band. Oh yeah, from oh man, they were huge. Like everybody, even the.
I would love to hear that.
Oh, they were great. They did. Last time I saw them, they played Cathedral Park show. You know, even the adults were like, wow. I think I'll dress as a pirate. I think I had to dress as a pirate.
Oh man, because
come on, man, Captain Bog and Salty.
That's even better.
Eat a lime.
You
don't know Captain Bog and Salty?
No, never.
They were huge. Portland, Oregon. They're great. And they sang pirate songs.
It's probably in the window before my kids, you know.
They were fun. Yeah. Some guy's brother was the guitar player. I can't remember. I'm sorry, can't remember.
How many?
But it was like some guy I knew online was like, yeah, that's my brother. The pirate that plays the guitar. That's him. The co-songwriter.
Hey, got the fake parrot. Got the fake parrot on his shoulder, man. That's my brother.
I can't believe you don't know Captain Bog and Salty.
I'm gonna have to look it up. There's, you know, it could be just a Friday thing where it's just not resonating until I get home and later pops.
They played lots of shows around, Portland and released records. We got their records. Wow. Pieces of 8. That was their big hit. Pieces of 8.
I bet you if I see it, I'll recognize it. It's one of those things.
Cat O' Tails. Come on, man.
Pieces of 8.
I wonder if we can.
Isn't that a Styx album?
Yeah, but this is. I wonder if
they ripped off Styx.
I wonder if we can. Oh, look. In the School.
Oh.
This was probably filmed somewhere in Portland. Oh, here comes. Oh, yes, Captain.
Hi, Piper. How you doing?
Captain.
See you back in class.
I should, show you that.
We have a Mr. Boo, harbinger of this bad.
Probably. Yeah. Captain Bog.
Raise your maps and go.
Oh, this is great.
Oh, yeah. Probably going to get nailed.
Will keep you from scurvy.
Fresh fruits will keep you from scurvy. God bless you.
Let's see.
Oh, that's great.
Divided among the crew. Pieces of meat are hidden away in a sack stuck into your ship.
Yeah, these guys get great video. I'm not going to play the whole thing because I don't want to get. I'll still get.
It's better than what we had.
But check out Captain Bog and Salty. They were the real deal. Not some weird cult. Unless, I don't know, pirate cult.
I got some disgruntled guy in a tricorner.
But you know, pirate has a big. There's a whole pirate thing.
Subculture.
Yeah, I went to Pirate Festival. Did you ever go to the Pirate Festival?
I did.
But then they would play.
I did not. I know that.
That was at Cathedral Park.
Yeah, I
Festival?
saw. I remember seeing like ads on it on Facebook.
It's just like you know what it's like. It's like the
guy on my
Renaissance Fair and all that stuff. Yeah. Because there's the people who there's like, Dad, go get a pirate hat. I still have a pirate hat.
Yeah.
Go get a pirate hat. And so we're at a pirate festival. Woohoo! Right? And then there's the people who are like, I live as a pirate every day. It's like, whoa, dude. Okay, cool.
Arrgh.
I mean, there are people. There's a ferry festival in somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Is that in Eugene or somewhere? There's a ferry festival. Like, I know people who traveled from like New Zealand to go to the ferry festivals. Like ferries. Like.
The Renaissance Fair, we had them on the old show. They were really cool people, man. They had all sorts of jousting.
But they're real serious about it.
Very serious. Jousting and all sorts of stuff.
And the lifestyle, too.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, I didn't mind.
No. Come on. You can't put, like, a little whipped cream on it, or maybe you can't. But, I mean, pirates, Renaissance people, they had a lifestyle.
Yes.
It wasn't exactly... it wasn't Christian. It wasn't like one woman, one man. It was like more a little bit...
They wanted to live their vision.
Heathenistic.
Right.
Come on, man.
I agree.
Anybody who knows anybody from a Renaissance... Oh, you were in the Renaissance Festival. Oh, okay.
There's a lot. Yeah. Well, yeah.
Your husband and your boyfriend. Okay.
And every night after it was over, they'd go back to their tents and it'd be the Renaissance Festival.
Come on, man. Exactly. Come on. We know what's going on here. We're not my little Catholic high school that's like, what did they just sing about Jesus or something?
But I thought he was in Tower of Power.
Exactly.
What are you being sold?
Are you going to play You Gotta Funkifies, please?
No, you're going to sit down there and take it. Get it? Yeah. Take it?
Down to the nightclub. I really would like you to sing about the nightclub. Please. Those are great songs. Please. Soul Vaccination. I think they got together. So I'm going to have to do some research. I think things got like cleaned up.
I know there was a reunion, right?
Yeah. So I think. But like I said, when I looked up good old Dave, I didn't see any mention of this. So
did they get deprogrammed then?
No, I don't know, man. Like I said, the kicker is the dude's dad's lawyer, who was specialized in deprogramming and suing cults. And that was just like, oh my God. Like, could you get any better than that?
That's great.
Could make a movie. Could make a movie,
yeah.
This is a script. Like, oh, there's so many things I can make a movie about. Why? Past. But anyway, Dave Garibaldi. So this t-shirt, Zildjian t-shirt, I got to tell my Dave Garibaldi story that I never told before.
Interesting. That is a great story.
We'll be getting
great
calls from Dave's lawyers.
And the Take It fan club is now on
I have the evidence, so I'm just saying.
Yeah.
I think my mom probably has the articles cut out from the Oregonian.
That's awesome.
And she was like, what was this about? It was like, former members of the Tower of Power, Dave Garibaldi. How could we not?
Sure. Yeah.
Like, and really, like us guys, like my one friend, the drummer, really got bent out of shape because he was religious.
Yeah.
Or whatever. I mean, he got bent out of shape.
Yeah.
And my other friend, who came from the big, we were like, yeah, but we got to see Dave Garibaldi and former members of Tower of Power, didn't we? Huh? Not too shabby.
Got to find that silver lining.
It was worth the drama, right?
Yeah.
You know? I mean, it was like, hey, anytime you get to see free music from dudes who can play, you go.
Okay, this brings me to an interesting question then, okay? All right. If you got something in the mail, right?
Yeah.
You open up the mail tomorrow and there's a thing saying coming to town, fill in the blank or whatever musician that it's like, wow, I would love to see this guy in person. I'd love to do that. But then you have to sit through a Scientology sort of presentation. Would you do it?
Already did. Chick Corea.
What?
Yeah, already been there, done that. When I was like,
Chick Corea's not Scientologist, is
I don't know. I don't know later in life, but yeah.
Can't ask him now.
Look, it's all over. Yeah, R.I.P. It's all over his records in the 70s. I went to a show back before this thing happened. I was young.
Yeah.
14, 15, I don't know. I was like a freshman or something.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Sure.
I saw a lot of good shows like when I was an do they call it undergrad? Underclassman in high school.
Yes.
Saw Zappa.
And then upperclassmen.
Didn't have to worry about anything with Zappa. There was no like cultish or anything. He was like hated all that stuff.
Except for the cult of Zappa, which is totally cool.
Yeah.
You know.
Like he was anti-drug and
I want to be
anti-cult. He was just like perverted. It was like, hey kids, I'm gonna need some perversion. I'm Frank Zappa. That was a horrible Frank Zappa, but Dynamo hum, Dynamo hum.
After you're all done, you're all gonna be mothers.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, mothers of invention.
But yeah, I saw Chick Corea.
Wow.
Because he came. It was like I was listening to his records and stuff, and I already knew he was putting stuff on his records about the L. Ron Hubbard. He was always, thank you, L. Ron Hubbard, for my music. Yeah. Oh yeah. Big time. And I think the story is, you got to remember, guys, musicians coming up from the '60s and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. As far as I know, the story, getting into the hard drugs.
Yeah.
And then cleaning up.
Go and see your yogi. Yeah. You gotta pull things around. Maybe
or go
Beatles,
Born Again.
Beatles made it famous. Yeah.
Read
Born Again. Sure.
A failed science fiction author's book and go, hey, this sounds good.
Right.
Whatever. But yeah. So I think that was the story there.
Why do all the eccentric people have three names? It's three names, but the first one is just the something dot whatever.
Well, I love it that around the same time.
E. Howard Hunt, L. Ron Hunt.
I love that around this same time.
J. Jonah Jameson.
Just
saying. Anyway, keep on.
Jameson? What?
Spider-Man. I'm just kidding.
Oh, shoot.
I was like, L. Ron Hubbard.
You know where my mind is. But anyway.
Jameson.
Yeah, you say Jameson and I think whiskey.
Irish whiskey. Yeah.
Women.
Well, yeah.
That make other movies. I'm a heathen because being a heathen is good.
That's why I didn't.
You don't believe in this weirdo
didn't want
nonsense that people come in and give you free concerts and stuff. But anyway, but I did see Chick Corea. And it was like, I got to see Chick Corea.
Yeah.
And I think my friend from the other one, big Italian family stuff, I think he went with me. Somebody went with me. I said, you want to see Chick Corea? And then you looked at the concert.
Yeah.
And what was it? It was like this concert raising proceeds for an organization that gets people off of drugs.
Oh, so on the surface of it, you're like, wow, that's altruistic.
That's good, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
People,
noble.
Addictions.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
We like that. Right?
Very altruistic.
AA, which is a religious organization.
The 12 Steppers. No. You ever know the 12 Steps?
Not shaming anybody.
No, not at all. Whatever gets you there, man.
Works. Okay. Yeah. But so this concert, and so then my friend's mom looks at this thing and goes, and I'm pretty sure this happened before the Dave Garibaldi thing, but now that I think about it, maybe it happened because it was all early on, and I've got the stuff from it.
It was BG before Garibaldi.
Yeah.
Okay.
And people started looking into this, and it was like, yeah, that was a Scientology foundation.
It's a front organization.
And so I had a discussion with my parents about this concert.
Yeah.
And my whole take on it was like, they were like, Scientology. And I was like, I know, it's all over his records that I buy.
Right.
What are you going to do? It's Chick Corea. Right. I can't not see. He's one of the greatest composers and musicians of our time. He really is. We really lost a great one.
Fantastic. Yeah. If you guys want your mind
a body
blown,
of work that is just like you can't get through it.
Check it out, man. It's all over the YouTube.
All over, from traditional jazz to fusion to classical.
Even the
guy was a monster.
Latin swing for a bit.
Oh yeah, lots of that, lots of his Latin and Spanish.
Yeah.
But anyway, so I was like, but, you know, and so there was this whole discussion about we're buying a ticket, and there is this Scientology
element to it.
Yeah. And I said, well, I figured that if you go to a Chick Corea concert, some of that money, some way, is going to go back to L. Ron and his Hubbards. You know, I mean,
L. Ron and the Hubbards.
I don't know, man.
And the rest of those Hubbards.
Yeah. Watch a few documentaries on Netflix about that group.
Yeah.
You'll have a real fun time.
Heck, listen to an interview by that Lisa Ramini lady.
Yeah. No, the talk. Yeah. But anyway, you like Tom Cruise movies? You like Tom Cruise movies? Top Gun and Mission Impossible? Yeah.
Yeah.
You like John Travolta movies? You like John Travolta?
Yeah.
Like Welcome Back? Yeah. So whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, what are you gonna do? And this always goes. This is something that this is my new, thing that I'm hammering on to people in 2021.
Yeah.
There is the artist and there is the person.
Yep.
And everyone should try to be a good person. All right?
Sure.
But the artist and the person may not share your beliefs or your behavior or anything you like.
It happens with every person, with any sort of movie star, a musician, whatever. Somebody that you know, someone that you love is going to fall from grace, and the person you're going to realize that the person's body of work does not necessarily reflect what sort of person he is in his outside.
So you have to decide in your own personal life if, I mean, there's there's real bad stuff.
Sure.
You know?
Sure.
There's a certain director who I think is brilliant, and boy, the stuff in his personal life is really makes you go.
I could throw out a name right now, and
I think you could figure it out.
Yeah,
and it's
left
like
the country.
Ooh. Well, no, I'm thinking of another director.
Oh, I was talking. No.
I know. Well, that's a good example too.
Yeah,
Jason.
Yeah.
But musicians that I think are some of the greatest musicians and artists. I've always said this. Read Miles Davis's autobiography. Okay? Read it.
I never read it. I'm going to read it now.
In his autobiography, he flat out says, I'm not a very good person. And here's stuff I did in my life. I wasn't a good person.
Yeah.
I still think he's probably one of the, at least in the top 5 of the greatest 20th century musicians.
Easily.
And innovators.
Yes.
Remember, you got to be an innovator too.
You got to change the game, man.
You got to change the game. That's right. You got to change the game. You got to look at what's happening and go, okay, we did that. Now we're going to change the game. I still think Miles is like up in top 5, like almost my number 1, because he changes. Not to change with the styles and be like, oh, I'm going to be stylish now. Like, I need to figure out what's happening today because that's old and this is new. Like a Beethoven did, for example.
In every game-changing musician, it's not so much as they're going after, in their mind, I got to do something new. I got to do this. It's just who they are. It's the way they're wired.
You can watch that Don Cheadle movie.
Yes.
Miles. Is it Miles Ahead?
Oh, I need to see that. It kind of came out and then kind of blooped, and I've been hunting for it everywhere. And
I rented it. I rented it off of YouTube.
All right, I'm going to have to do that.
You can rent it.
I'm going to do that.
I'm sure you can get it on Amazon, or you can rent it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to see it. Yeah, same problem. It hit the theaters, and I missed it, and I was like, God, I want to go see it. And I was like looking for it, and it was here and gone. And there's a lot of things because Cheadle, funded it himself, directed it.
Yeah, that's right.
And he basically said he got no support from Hollywood. Thanks, Hollywood. Racism much? Want to tell everyone else they're racist? And you, Hollywood? Accomplished black actor and director who did this incredible study of a very important figure.
Yeah.
Miles Davis.
As you talk, I'm just going to slowly in the background, very whisper, systemic.
Yeah.
Systemic.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
But
there's a bunch of stuff in that movie. When I was watching, it's like, oh yeah, I read the autobiography. I know about these incidents and these things, right?
I think some of the coolest people need to have movies made about them. Charlie Parker.
Well, they did. Okay.
Well, I mean, now updated,
and that's the
big
only
budget.
That's the only one I can think of.
Yeah.
I was thinking about this the other day. It's like Don Cheadle. Where'd his movie go? Yeah. Right. And he had Ewan McGregor in it.
Yeah.
Which he said, okay, first of all, I have a whole Ewan McGregor thing. I love Ewan McGregor.
Great actor.
I think he's a fantastic actor.
Underrated.
But he was in it, and even Cheadle said, "Yeah, I was able to get Ewan in it because that helped me get funding for the movie." It was like, "Yeah, I can see that." I mean, he was good in it.
But isn't that sad though, as a commentary on it, when you have to go out and get certain people because you got to get over.
I thought about this. The only major movie I can think of about a jazz musician, that deserved a movie, was Bird. And who did that?
Bird?
Clint Eastwood.
Oh, yeah.
Clint Eastwood.
Yeah.
So it got major funding and major release because it was Clint Eastwood.
There was another one I really liked. But
I'm talking about like major, like you could go to a movie theater and see Bird.
Yeah.
You know?
I do the one.
It was distributed by Warner Brothers or whatever.
Sean Penn, Sweet and Lowdown. He played the second greatest guitarist behind Django Reinhardt. A good
Never
movie.
seen that.
Solid movie.
Sounds interesting.
Solid chops.
I've never heard of that one.
Real musician, real body of work. His whole life he was chasing Django Reinhardt because he could never get in popularity, get over that.
Wow. Yeah. I've never heard of that movie.
Yeah. Sweet and Lowdown.
Maybe I've heard of the title, but
It did
okay.
Okay in the box office. Very good critically. Came. I would tend to say.
What decade?
Maybe late 90s. Mid to late 90s.
Okay.
Somebody will correct me on this. Some will get it down there, but it surprised me the breadth of it. It really did. It's a good movie. I enjoyed it.
Oh, cool. I'll have to check that out.
Because I'd heard the name, I'm like, what? Well, okay, I kind of heard him. Yeah, he was an old timey sort of the jazz guitarist sort of stuff. And then I was like, oh yeah, I remember him. And then when they get into the thing about him and Django Reinhardt, I'm like, okay, I've heard that somewhere before. That he had this sort of kind of one way feud, right? He was always, I'm just as good as Django Reinhardt this whole time, and the whole time Django was like, yeah, he's good.
Wow.
I like the guy, he's good, but he just had that sort of, I just never got to that.
I mean,
good movie though.
Like, there's never even been a movie about, like I'm talking Hollywood movie dramatization of like Jimi Hendrix.
No, with Screams, something like that. You'd think Screams.
Actually, the last sort of major movie, which wasn't, I mean, it was released pandemic, was the Bill and Ted 3.
Yeah,
because they had Jimmy.
Yeah. That's right.
As a character in there.
Sam Cooke. I would love to get a real.
But there's like no Jimi Hendrix. There's no like all these innovators and people that Zappa.
Yeah.
There's no drama. Now again, Alex Winter, who is in Bill and Ted.
Yeah.
He released the same year that Bill and Ted came out. Alex released, because he's a documentary filmmaker and he's really good. Mm-hmm. Alex released his Zappa documentary that he's been working on for like almost 10 years, I want to say. Yeah. Maybe 8 years. I mean, I remember when they first put it up on Kickstarter or whatever. That was really good. Yeah. But I mean, those are all documentaries, which is fine.
Why do you think that is?
Because people are stupid.
I think
no. It's capitalism. It's issues with in a time where we should have money flowing for things.
Huh. Yeah.
For art.
Yeah.
We have like investors only want the next Marvel movie. Mm-hmm. They want to invest hundreds of millions of dollars and then get $1 billion returns.
Right.
That's unsustainable.
No, yeah, it is.
I mean,
totally.
Sure, that's what Disney or whatever they do, right?
It's their lifeblood,
but good luck. But that's not art, and that's not what Hollywood should be doing.
What happened to the old Miramax and the other ones that did?
What happened to the old Miramax? Speaking of.
I don't mean that.
I know exactly what happened.
I mean that ethos, though, the sort of indie sort of.
But the guy who was.
Yeah, we won't even go into that.
Yeah,
I'm just saying that sort of type, though. Yeah. I wish there was a guy. I think that's timely right now that someone should make a movie or make probably tons in the box office because he's still a lot of relevant. Eddie Van Halen. Mm-hmm. People, I mean, he had a very interesting life. Can you imagine the guy who's ever going to play David Lee Roth on that movie? Holy cow!
And so streaming, which has had dollars around, is supposed to be putting dollars into these projects, right? And I can't remember
Netflix.
Yeah. I mean, Don Cheadle is a great example of this. If you look at his career and what he's doing, right? So he appeared in the Iron Man movies. Yeah. It was actually a recast, turned out. Iron Man 2, the Avengers, right?
Yeah.
So he got his big actor bucks by being in, actors do that to make the bucks, right?
Sure.
Obviously. And you can't fault them for that. It's like, and it's like Cassavetes, right? John Cassavetes, who I'm going to star in whatever, I'm going to appear television, whatever, because then I'm going to take the money and I'm going to make the movie I want to make.
Yeah, because it fuels whatever projects they want to do.
And I dig that. I dig an actor or artist who wants to do that. So, I mean, Cheadle did the whole Miles Davis movie himself, right? Yeah. Directed it, starred in it. He was very good in it, too. When I heard it was like Don Cheadle, I can see that. He'll pull that off.
Huge Don Cheadle fan.
Yeah. So that's a good example, right? He's a good example. But, the funding should be there. Now, you see funding on streaming.
Yeah.
I've watched 2 things on streaming that I needed to kind of escape from this week on Netflix. Mm-hmm. I think there's not a whole lot on Netflix, but there are a couple good things on Netflix.
Okay.
The thing I watched last night was a documentary about John DeLorean.
Oh, okay.
It was very good. It was very, very good. And it has Alec Baldwin in it.
Ooh.
And actually, the question about the documentary that they ask is, why has Hollywood never made a Hollywood movie about John DeLorean? That's the whole point. It's a kind of odd documentary because it's a documentary, and then Alec Baldwin is there becoming John DeLorean and doing little scenes and stuff. Mm-hmm. And the whole reason Alec Baldwin's in it is and he tells a little story about a few years back. Well, this might be a spoiler, but years ago there was something in development to do a movie about him, and Alec was up for the role. I won't spoil the rest of it, but that's a good example, right? And he's going, I don't know why. I mean, this is a guy who you could make a movie out of, but this is a documentary. Well, the other one I watched, which I really enjoyed, and okay, so here's the other thing. Mm-hmm. You don't have to, with streaming, you don't have to make a movie, right?
No. Yeah.
You can make a limited series.
Yep.
You can make a 6-hour movie. What we used to call a mini-series. We used to call it a mini-series. I don't know why they don't.
Limited series.
Yeah, well, now it's a limited series, but we used to call it a mini-series.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Roots was a mini-series.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Okay? Mm-hmm. So I watched this thing with Ewan McGregor. It's brand new. Ewan McGregor, his name's on something, I'm going to watch it.
Yeah.
He's that kind of actor for me.
Yeah.
Halston.
I ran across that the other night when I was on Netflix.
Highly recommend it.
And I'm sitting there because I didn't really have time.
No, you got it. It's a series. It's 6 or some episodes, 45 minutes long. So
intrigued though.
So you either got to binge watch it or watch it over a little time, Yeah. But it's a long movie. I mean, there's not going to be a season 2 or anything. but yeah. So he's in this new movie, or mini limited series called Halston, which is about the designer Halston.
Sure.
And and I didn't want to watch things blowing up, and there's been a lull in the, well, not quite a lull in the NBA, but for the Blazers, a couple Blazers.
Getting ready for playoffs.
So I was like, I need to see something a little bit more
cerebral.
Yes. Not superheroes flying around or whatever.
I totally understand.
A little something more adult.
Totally understand.
Oriented.
Yep.
And so I watched that, and I really, really liked it. Now, I am fascinated by fashion design because, like painting and illustration and drawing, I'm like this. If it's performance, music, video, motion things, I'm your guy.
Yeah.
When it comes to, painting, I love painting. I love going to the art museum and stuff. I'm like, I'll draw you a stick figure, and it's worse for fashion and stuff. You see a woman in a beautiful and you're like, hey, wow, or even a dude. You watch those old Cary Grant movies, man, and you're like,
slick. That
guy looks sharp in that suit.
Yeah,
Cary is looking sharp.
Yeah.
Right. That's someone who's an artist and creative doing that. and knows how to do that.
Yeah.
So I'm fascinated by that world. And of course, there's all the accoutrements, the craziness of the glitz and the glamour. And
I think eccentricity loans itself to creative people, right?
Well, and I was like, I bet you this is going to be probably pretty good.
Yeah.
And it was, I really enjoyed it. I thought it got better. The first part, it's really good.
As they laid the foundation.
But outside of the excesses of like New York in the 70s and all that stuff, and there's a lot of excesses in there. Drugs, sex,
Club 54.
Studio 54,
yeah.
all that stuff.
Yeah.
All that stuff is in there, right?
The Village, yeah.
But really what it's about is creativity.
Yes.
And how success and money and creativity are, to me, really kind of at odds with each other.
Yeah. One thing that's always fascinated me, and it really came to life, as I learned to get into like streaming stuff and the radio thing and stuff, is I've always been endlessly fascinated with creativity, where it comes from. How did you get that idea?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
That is so cool. Explain to me how, your vision for this. What's your philosophy? I want to deep dive into this. I want to drill down into this, because to me, when you interview band guys or actors or poet, whatever, right?
Writers, whatever.
Yeah, because I've always just been incredibly fascinated with somebody that creates something out of nothing. Mm-hmm. It's all up there, and next thing you know, it's out in the world and it changes people's lives, And which can or can't. It can be like,
I always love it when it's something mundane like,
yeah.
Well, I was on the toilet and had a really nice poop. And as soon as I got off, I was like, wow, okay.
Jimmy, Purple Haze. Yeah, I was
like,
oh, okay. Well, there's no mystery.
I was just feeling really relaxed. And
right.
Then I laid down that drum track.
But
really, all it took was just one good movement.
Right. But I've always, especially like with music, how stuff comes together. Man, you've written just one of the best songs of the 20th century, and you're telling me you did it in 5 minutes?
Well,
or 15 minutes, whatever it is. You wrote it on a dashboard as your car is going to the airport, and like.
And when you come from like a background, educational background, where you're actually studying something creative, like with music, for example, you're analyzing it and trying to figure it out, and you're actually getting into the technicality of it, and you're going, oh, that's very interesting how they decided to go this way, and it works so well. And so when you come from that background, then you're kind of like, okay, other arts like choreographers, designers, like or whatever, you're like, okay, I know nothing about this, but I'm curious. Where do you go with this? How do you do this, Yeah. And this is just like a Hollywood kind of movie, again, limited series on Netflix. So, but they kind of approach that. And toward the end, they do a little of that too, which I thought was really well done. It brought back some memories, because I do remember, this was all 70s and 80s stuff. First time I ever went to New York and Manhattan and hung out with some people, was it late 80s, 89, 90, something like that. So I was like, oh man, it was like the heart of that time period. And there's other things. I don't want to get in too deeply because there's some thoughts and feelings that I had looking at this.
During that time, that's still, you're still getting very much of the echoes of Times Square in late 70s, very early 80s, whole different animal than,
That for me was the thing about the creativity and then of course success and how success totally messes that up. There's the whole other personal context, the heyday of Studio 54, the drugs, the homosexuality and that sort of thing, and the big hammer that came down in New York at that time was the AIDS crisis.
Yes.
And it brought me back. I remember my girlfriend and I happened to have the opportunity to be behind the scenes at a big Broadway show. Ooh. And one night after the show, we actually met the producers of the show.
Wow, that would be something.
But,
that would be cool.
It was like, that was kind of this cloud that was happening over that. And that was one thing that kind of, so I was watching this, I was like, oh, wow, I kind of remember being in New York and remembering that cloud that had fallen by the late 80s and the 90s.
Yeah.
I didn't focus so much. It's just other things in that. I didn't focus so much on that.
Did you
it was
find
more about the creativity.
Did you find that it tainted it, though, to a certain degree?
It made it real.
Because your preconceived notions
it made it real.
Yeah.
It made it real. Because, I mean, I was like, oh, yeah, I know this story about all these famous people who happen to be very successful in the creative arts and gay. And, a lot of them aren't here anymore. So it's very sad. But I mean, that there was a little context there, but that was more personal. It kind of brought me back to that time being in New York.
Yeah.
But more so, I think the real theme of it is his creative process and his actually finding it later in his life and later. And it's also a lot about business, too.
Yeah.
You know, about what happened to his business and his name. And it was like, like he was on commercials on television in the set, and it was like, oh, damn, I remember this. I was like, yeah, I remember. You'd see this commercial in here. This guy would come out. I was like, hello, I'm Halston, and I designed this rug, and you'd be like, and this was the first time that a designer ever, I mean, there were designers that were known, but like an American commercial success, like he was the first guy.
Yeah, because others you had.
This was before
Paris.
Calvin Klein and all the other ones.
All you had was Coco Chanel. And
they were French.
Exactly.
And there's a whole thing. They went to France and did this whole face-off, and all this stuff. This all really happened. It was
like a West Side Story fashion, sort of the sharks and the... Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You watch it. Tell me what you think.
Okay, I got it now.
Now
I also got to see the Don Cheadle... Miles Davis.
I like it. And Ewan McGregor plays Halston.
Nice.
So there you go. Actually, some of the casting is really good. I read this article where they showed the real person and the person that they cast, and it was like, damn, that's almost the same person. And they were like, yeah, the casting's pretty good on this. Like the lady who plays the Tiffany jewelry designer that was his partner and friend, who I had no idea who this person was, but apparently she was a massive success. Like she took Tiffany from the brink of whatever and made as a jewelry designer.
Yeah.
And she was a model and, all this stuff. I was like, wow. I don't know. Look at me. This is fashion, right? Look.
Yeah. And please,
please, I know nothing.
Don't look at me.
Look, this is fashion. Yeah, you're more fashionable than me.
Well, fashion is debatable.
But it fascinates me, too, because you think, there's a lot of creativity that goes into designing a dress that looks fantastic on a woman or something that looks great on a guy. It could be a dress.
But that vision, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's something that I've always been endlessly fascinated. Where did you get that from?
Okay, Jason, here it is.
Yeah.
Curmudgeons fashion design.
Ooh. Oh my
We'll go to France. We'll go to the runways.
Get me on the runway.
Yeah, they'll be like
magic is gonna happen.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh.
Could you imagine?
Jason, how come all your designs, they're all in boxer shorts and carrying beverages around with them?
Is that the Marlins?
Seattle Mariners.
Oh, that's the Mariners.
It's the old vintage.
The old vintage Mariners. Yeah. Okay, sorry.
I'm not getting anything nowadays. This is from the 60s, man.
Jason's wearing a vintage Mariners ball cap for evening wear.
That's right. For evening wear. And I'll just come sauntering, because that's what you do. You don't walk. You have to saunter.
And his Hawaiian shirt is easy to put in the wash when you spill beer and mustard on it.
Easy to wear, easy to camouflage. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you Polynesian sunset.
See?
And I'll walk around.
Dude. You already got it down. You know how to do it.
Yeah, I can saunter. I can saunter.
And, come on.
Yeah.
Everyone agrees Zoolander is a great freaking movie.
Exactly.
I mean, come on.
Taken to the extreme, that's the bad. Yeah.
I mean,
he can really saunter.
Yeah. I mean, Zoolander just, he nailed that movie.
Yeah.
I
wonder how many male models actually got ticked off because there's a grain.
No, I wonder how many
more than a grain
kids.
Yeah.
Male model kids saw that movie and became male models. I bet you anything.
I'm sure there is.
Just do me a favor, kids. Don't go near the gas station with the Frappuccino.
Yeah. And give them really cool names, too, because, when they make it big and they're like...
Steel.
Yeah. Come over here. Come over for a minute. We need to talk to you. Yes.
Movie...
What is your greatest inspiration? Well, I need to tell you that I was going to be
Bowie's in it.
Insurance salesman until I saw that.
That's one of my. That is actually one of my favorite. Is it Will Ferrell characters?
Oh yeah, yes.
Mukato. I like.
I was thinking about being an insurance salesman. Zoolander changed my life. Yeah. Ben Stiller, it's like he reached into my heart and grabbed out a sewing machine and said, "You must make fashion."
Yeah.
Sorry.
But anyway.
I go off on these tangents.
Halston.
Yes.
Yeah.
I got to check
really?
it out.
We don't have a plan here. We don't go on tangents here, Jason. This is a fine oiled machine that we stick to the subject.
We need
so much so that sometimes we start a story and never finish it. Thank God I wanted to get through the Dave Garibaldi story because I know, if I let that one hanging, it would be what happened?
I go. The funny thing is sometimes that's my shtick. I just start going off into different things. And I love the fact that somehow in the end you still keep us in line because I'm going off in different stories. And
if I'm keeping you and people in line, you're
we're in trouble.
Big freaking trouble, man.
Yes,
I'm telling you. But so Halston.
I'll check it out.
No, it's good. I really, again, the creativity and all that stuff.
Ladies and gentlemen, today's Coffee with Curmudgeon's power word is Halston.
Well, it very much was a power word, that brand and that name. I mean, I'm not going to say so much about
spoilers,
it, but watch it and you'll see.
I definitely,
and it'll be like, wow, that's.
I'm of that generation where I definitely remember the name Halston. When I saw that, I'm like, oh wow, that's kind of cool.
Imagine
Ewan McGregor.
Imagine if your name, is your brand.
Well, yeah, there's one today that, but no.
And there's little references too at the beginning to Ralph Lauren and Calvin Klein and all that.
Sure,
shit.
Sure. Vanderbilt, Gloria Vanderbilt.
There's okay. I'll give you one spoiler.
Yeah,
they come into him, right?
Yeah,
and they go, and they show him, look what's going on TV, and it's the Calvin Klein jeans.
Oh,
and Halston goes, I will never sell jeans. Call them what they really are, dungarees. And it was because you can imagine a fashion designer just being jeans. I'm going to sell jeans, and you think about what did Calvin Klein do? Just brought high fashion jeans. First we were always wearing Levi's and these, and we knew as kids jeans, man, designer jeans. You know what ones I always liked? Remember these?
Yeah.
Britannia.
Oh.
Remember those? With the little British Union Jack?
San Francisco riding gear. Remember them? And Lawman jeans. Anyone remember them?
Yeah. Britannia.
Britannia.
And then, of course, they had the flare jeans. And the Britannias were the... There was another...
I remember
Lucky. Lucky jeans.
Okay.
Lucky. Those are good.
Guess.
Guess. My actually
huge
friend of mine.
Back in the day,
musician friend. That was his brand. He liked the Guess jeans.
Yeah.
Remember all those jeans. And then Calvin Klein came along and made them $300.
Right.
Everyone's like, I gotta get Calvin Klein. And then the underwear. And then came the underwear. It's like, nothing comes between me and my Calvin
Klein. That's right.
And then they did the underwear. And they come into him and it's like,
and then you get
panties. And he's like, he's like, what?
Yes. But
I design fashion dresses.
Here's some more that's gone into the...
anyway, it's an interesting story.
Speaking Calvin Klein, Back to the Future.
Oh yeah,
Marty McFly. That's what he. What's your name? He looks at his
Calvin
underwear.
Klein,
Calvin Klein.
What's interesting is both. See, do the DeLorean because I watched Halston. I had some time to watch it through, so I was like, okay, I gotta watch Halston first.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna watch DeLorean after this because it's all like back in those times, same times.
Yeah.
And what's ironic, I forgot about the Calvin Klein in Back to the Future because that's the Halston connection. But then the DeLorean thing is all about that. And in fact, they had a letter from one of the producers and writers of
Back to the Future was Landis, wasn't it?
Yeah, or Zemeckis or those. I can't remember.
Zemeckis.
But it was the
Zemeckis.
Other guy too. It wasn't Zemeckis. It was the other guy who co-wrote it and produced it or whatever.
Gotcha.
And he actually had this letter in the documentary. He's like, "This is from John DeLorean." He saw the movie and he was like, "I recently viewed this movie, Back to the Future," and he basically said, "I want to thank you for bringing the car back into its, glory and all that, and being so respectful and." And that was the thing when you saw Back to the Future, we're like, oh man, DeLorean. That car, man.
Because up until then, DeLorean was Miami Vice, that sort of stuff. Guys in a DeLorean.
No. That was they might have had DeLorean, but that was Ferraris though. They had Ferraris.
Yeah, someone had to use the DeLorean.
They might have had it in Miami Vice.
Door coming up, in there. Oh.
Yeah, but Vice used Ferraris.
Yeah.
So, true story. First season of Miami Vice. Mm-hmm. They are driving a Ferrari Daytona, which is a very rare Ferrari from the early. It was kind of Ferrari's Corvette Stingray.
Oh, okay.
Actually, if you look at it, you'll go, "Oh, Ferrari trying to be the Corvette Stingray."
Yeah.
Everyone wants that, that classic '70s Stingray, that beautiful. Was it like late '60s, early '70s?
Yeah, the mid '60s Vet. It's just
those smooth. Mm-hmm. Curves, and it's just like I had a Matchbox of one, and I was always like, this day, if I ever, that would be like 68 or 69 into 72 or something like that. I want to say,
or even like 65.
I'm talking about that one that's so slick and aerodynamic.
Oh, okay, yes. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yes,
and like after that, the Daytona comes out, which is like that.
Yeah,
and Porsche does the 958. No, not 911, 958 or something, or 928, which is like
okay,
and it's totally like, and they were all like,
yep,
dude, the Corvette Stingrays, like everyone wants that,
Yeah.
So like all these like foreign car makers started making that, but I have that on my brain because the DeLorean documentary goes back and he designed the Pontiac GTO, the first muscle car, at GM.
That is interesting.
That was his whole like thing. He came in and he was like. They gave him Pontiac, and Pontiac was like,
I did not know
that. This family car thing. And so he secretly goes, we're going to do we're not going to do a lot. And they're like, you can't do an extra line. So he goes, how about an option package called the GTO? And then it's like, and we're going to throw this gigantic, because the engine fit in the car.
Barely?
No, it fit. It was like, oh, we could dump this engine in. And GM was like, are you kidding? And then it was like, they said, we'll make like 5,000 of them or whatever. And it became the most popular car in the 60s. Like, it was like young people were like, oh, I got to get a Pontiac GTO. And they, that one with the double grill, the kind of that two grill, like two holes for the grill on either side and kind of the nose and all that. Mm-hmm. I was like, oh, now that was a car design. That was,
Oh, yeah.
But so Miami Vice. Yes. First season of Miami Vice, they're driving around a Ferrari Daytona.
Oh, okay. Uh-huh.
Which, of course, Vice confiscates all this stuff for their undercover from drug dealers, from confiscation.
Oh, yeah.
Great way to get money.
Hey, you want some new wheels?
Legal way to get money. Anyway, don't get me started on that.
Want some wheels?
But anyway, at the end of Miami Vice, the car gets... for season 1, car gets blown up. I think it's the end of the first season. It's blown up. Now, a Daytona is a very rare Ferrari. Mm-hmm. So blowing up a Daytona. Turns out that Daytona was a modified Corvette.
Yeah.
Or Camaro that they actually modified to look like a Daytona. It never was a Daytona. They couldn't get a real Ferrari Daytona in the series. And drive it around and drive it fast and then blow it up at the end.
Yeah.
The next season...
It's funny how a collector wouldn't let you do that.
Next season...
Yeah.
A brand new white Ferrari Testarossa.
Ooh.
For real. And that was a real Ferrari
Nothing
white
says
Testarossa.
testosterone like Testarossa.
Yeah. With the single side mirror. Not the two side mirrors. The one side mirror on the driver's side. Not the two.
Mm-hmm.
So...
Mm-hmm.
And then I would drive out to the west side and drive past those.
You are up on your Crockett and Tubbs.
Dude, no, I'm up on my cars from the 80s.
There you go.
I didn't bring... they should be down here. My supercar picture books.
Ooh.
Yes.
Yeah. I was enamored. Mine is the 66 Mustang.
Oh, yeah.
69.
Is that what's his name? Steve McQueen Mustang. Bullet. Bullet.
Yep. And
of course,
the 69 Camaro.
Pony car.
I just love it. Jet black and oh man, oof. That's my
no
shtick.
love for the Volkswagen van.
I like the Thing better.
The Thing was crazy, wasn't
1974, I believe.
One of the most hated vehicles ever.
I wanted one for the longest time.
I know.
Like, I want one. I want
that
one.
and was it the Gremlin?
Ooh.
The AMC
Gremlin.
Which was
the
the
Pacer.
one that...
Remember,
the
made
Pacer. The Pacer.
Famous. Wayne's World. But I like the Gremlin, though. The Gremlin.
Yeah, the Pacer. The Pinto.
Yeah, hit it in the back end and watch it explode. Pinto,
My dad got a Pinto station wagon. And the Thing was badass. It was like a 4-cylinder and all that.
Yeah.
Manual. But the Thing was great. Yeah. I mean, tons of, for that size of a car.
Yeah.
It had great room in the back. I could haul all my drums and gear and stuff. And it was a reliable car.
Yeah.
The Pinto? Yeah. I honestly have good memories.
Just fond memories of the Pinto? Yeah.
Yeah, the Pinto.
That's cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just remember the old stories from the old days, the Pinto, remember? And they had that controversy.
That was the whole thing when he got it. But it was not the station wagon Pinto, it was the other,
right. And it was a specific year, right? Because the gas tanks were too thin or something like that.
Yeah.
So if you hit it,
but the station wagon, because it was longer, supposedly didn't have that problem or whatever. Yeah. But
gotcha.
But yeah, I always like that
blue,
just dark blue Pinto.
Whenever I hear or think about Pinto station wagon, my mind always goes back to the Blues Brothers. Yeah. When you got the white supremacist guys and they're chasing them and they're in a Pinto station wagon.
Oh, are they?
Oh, and they're just cruising after them. They want them. They're all sitting in there like that.
I forgot.
There's the Pinto station wagon. They're rolling after the Blues Brothers.
I didn't know about that.
Oh yeah,
I forgot about that.
Yeah. They're going through there, and then people are having their little.
I just remember the scene on the bridge.
Yeah, they knock them off the rim and stuff. Then they're chasing them.
We need a little more of that.
We
need a little more Blues Brothers action.
We need more like just 80s, 70s car hijinks.
Well,
I know there's Fast and Furious and that crap, but let me tell you, some Blues Brothers, the all car crashes.
I think it's coming back. There's a lot of old movies, like especially from the 80s, that people are rediscovering and going, hey, these movies are pretty good. Pretty entertaining. It's like, yes, they were. I mean, there's like some periods of like 87 or 88 or 86 or there's like when you look at the movies that were released and they're all massive block. They're like Back to the Future, Axel,
Beverly Hills
Cop,
Raiders of the Lost Ark,
Schwarzenegger, Commando or whatever. I mean,
Raw Deal, Commando, Predator,
First Blood or whatever. You look at these movies list like in a couple of those years and you're like, my God, those are all like successful blockbusters, and partially because they did good in the theater, but that's also when the whole videotape revolution came in, and Blockbuster and all those came in, and boom, they made tons and tons of money in rental.
Yeah.
Another one, I think I must have seen this on Netflix.
Okay.
It's got to be on Netflix. That was the other last big movie I watched. Documentary called The Last Blockbuster. You got to see that.
Yes, in Oregon.
Bend, Oregon.
Yes.
Otherwise known as Bend-Or.
Bend-Or?
You got to see that one. That's it got really good reviews, like at Sundance or something. I don't know, whatever that is.
Yeah, I've seen the trailer and stuff a bunch on Netflix.
It's really good.
Yeah,
and it brings you back. It brings you back to those old days of the Blockbuster and all that, and just going to the video store and you know they point out it's like you could go to the video store just with a clear head.
Yeah,
like. I'm just going to go to the video rental store, right? With my girlfriend or whatever. And we're going to walk through and go, I don't know, this Eddie Murphy looks pretty good. What do you think? Ask the guy, hey, you seen this? Is it any good? Yeah, it's good. I like that. Okay, let's get this one, right?
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Oh, talk about defining a genre, too. Yeah. Because I never called it going to the video store. It's always, hey, let's go to Blockbuster. Even if it wasn't, even if it was like that Hollywood Video or whatever, their competitor, or any mom and pop, just in video or whatever.
But by the 2000s, when Netflix came along, I was telling everybody, it's like, unless they change, this is the shift, man.
Yep.
Because as soon as you could, and remember Netflix, you'd get the DVDs in the mail. Mm-hmm. And you didn't have to return them. It was like, oh, you want a new movie? Send that DVD back. And it was like, oh my gosh. That was like, and they had a catalog too. Yeah. That stuff, I got music DVDs and so I got one, like I looked up in their catalog DVDs. I still want to do this because this is stuff that's not on streaming. I remember seeing on one of the DVDs, Henry Rollins and Black Flag live in Berlin, like 1983 or something. I can't remember, something like that. I was like, oh, hell yeah, I've written this.
Yes.
Like from German television.
Yes, please.
and Henry's like, all these German punk kids are out there, and they're almost like in the round, and Henry's spitting on them and jumping in the crowd, and it's just like you're like, oh my god,
how could you not love that?
But I saw that, like I saw stuff like that on Netflix, and I'm like, okay, rental, got to get this.
Yeah,
gotta rent this. So. So yeah, I knew Blockbuster was kind of gonna be, but that documentary goes through it very, very, very well.
Yeah,
and turns out the last Blockbuster, I think the video store is still there.
I think so.
And the thing is on physical media, on videotape, and on DVD, there is stuff that's just not online.
No,
foreign films.
That's exactly right. I remember. Back in the old VHS when it was starting to go over to the DVD era, I remember I was
a lot of stuff that
Clackamas Town Center. I'm in one of this like Suncoast, I think it was at the time, and there was this
I used to go there.
Really B movie 1980s called Up the Creek. Tim Matheson, the guy who played
remember that
Flounder.
Movie.
The theme song was done by Cheap Trick.
Yeah.
And I remember I wanted that movie. I want that movie. Oh, I can't find it. It's not out on VHS. Not on DVD. It was on VHS. Just wasn't on DVD. Where am I going to get this? Well, I'm sorry, Canada. And finally, years later, I see it. And I'm like in a bargain bin for like $4. And I was like, it was like an Animal House with the kid. The lady keeps busting through the window. I'm like, thank you, God.
Yeah. Pro tip right now.
Yeah.
And people are grabbing... even old VHSs and stuff because you don't know what's not out there right now.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
I know a lot of people who are doing that and just grabbing stuff up, and we're back to hoarding it again.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. That's
a good idea. Yeah. We're making sure that stuff gets preserved.
As it should be.
Yes.
Because you never know. Some things either fall out of it's like an author whose work goes out of print.
Yeah. Oh, it's totally like that.
Movies, whatever, they don't translate well onto different catalogs because they're not money makers. So forget about it. Even though it would be nice to have something for posterity.
Well, I think it's time for me to go.
Okay.
Literally.
Yeah, I think the wife started beeping.
Yeah, and also
literally.
Also, my buddy, speaking of old '80s and stuff, Joe Bob Briggs. It's on right now. 6 p.m. West Coast.
Do not want to get in the middle of JBB.
Dude.
Yes.
Tonight's special interview guest is Bruce Campbell. I know, right?
Oh, man.
So it's time to go.
You got to tell me the next time this man comes to Portland, I am there.
Yeah. I will.
I will go out of the way and I'll get us press credentials and I'll get us in there, dude.
He's great.
Give me enough time. We're getting press passes for this, and we're gonna go in and do some JBB and. Awesome.
All right, man.
Yes.
Well, let's call it a day.
Yes.
And we'll be back.
Sounds good.
I think we promise.
Folks, have a good weekend. Stay out of trouble.
Stay out of trouble. That's all you need to know. It's the right thing to do.
God, it just blew up. It just blew up. It just blew up.